Hey there, guys. How are you? Welcome back to a brand new Flick Pick live show where we talk about movies, eat some popcorn, and drink something with 3 ice cubes, no more, no less in it. And I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for joining me. Typically, I do these live shows every Tuesday night, and it's Wednesday, so obviously I didn't do that yesterday. But the truth is, I just needed a day to reboot, recalibrate, and sort of just organize the discombobulated thoughts streaming out of my brain before they leaked out of my ear. And I know things are crazy right now, but let's all just relax, keep it simple, keep it fun, talk about some movies. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. The first main topic I want to talk about today is the possibility, the very strong possibility, that my most anticipated film of 2020 will be delayed. And I don't think this is going to be... this is one of many films delayed in 2020 because 2020 is just... 2020 sort of just sucks. 2020 sucks thus far. But we're going to talk all about the possibility of Tenet being delayed, AMC possibly closing, and then I'll answer your movie-related questions along the way, so you guys can ask anything and everything that you want, and we'll talk about it because there's so much to talk about. And the first question of the day comes from a longtime supporter, Patrick John to be precise, from Down Under, and he says, "Hey John, how are you today?" And thank you, Patrick, for the Streamlabs donation. It does help. How am I doing today? Well, with everything I just said, I think I'm okay. I'm doing well. It's just a lot of things happening in life right now. Sort of just trying to figure out what to do. Big changes coming, good changes down the road, and I will announce it to you guys when I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm probably moving again, but it's for all the right reasons. That's one thing. But overall, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. It's just, I don't know. It feels like we're living in a movie. It feels like this is a bizarre movie that someone wrote, and we're all living in it now. But other than that is how I'm doing. The next one comes from Benny. Have you seen the movie What About Bob? Thoughts? Yes, Benny, I have seen What About Bob. I love the film. It has the kid who played Jack in the film Hook, which I love, and Bill Murray. Only Bill Murray could have carried that movie and elevated it to what it was. I love it. Baby steps. Yeah, I love the film What About Bob? One of those 90s underrated classics in my opinion. All right, we're gonna dive into more of the super chats and Streamlab donations in just a few seconds. But yeah, I want to talk about the main topic of the live stream, and that is, will Tenet be delayed? So there's been some news, some announcements that have come out, and originally Tenet was supposed to be released July 17th, and I was going to be at the theater July 17th to watch Tenet. Now, do I feel comfortable doing that with everything going on, especially the fact that someone can sneeze and possibly end your life? Or yes, I was going to take the risk. Was I going to wear a mask? Maybe. But the only downside is if you wear a mask to see Tenet, you can't eat popcorn and Sour Patch Kids. And the other thing is, I was really hoping that theaters, when they finally do open back up, if they ever open back up, would limit the capacity to maybe 20%. I think even 50% capacity in a movie theater is way too much. You need at least 5 seats between you and the person beside you. And even then, I don't feel like it's enough. But what's happening now with the newest news coming out is Cinemark has said they want to open a majority of their theater locations June 19th, which is only a few days after the release of Tenet. But the biggest negative with that is they know for a fact they won't open their theater chains in most markets that have a late opening for a phase 3 opening. For example, in New York, they won't open there because the majority of things in New York aren't open right now due to everything going on in the world. Also in California, especially San Francisco, they know for a fact they won't open in that market either. And those are major markets for movie theaters. So that's where a majority of their income, the population, go to see movies at these theater chains. And if you can't open there, well, that limits the amount of theaters and income you're going to get. And here's why that relates to Tenet probably not opening on the scheduled release date of July 17th. If a studio wants to make their money back at the box office, they've said they need at least 80% of all theaters open for a chance to turn the profit that they want for the film. And if 80% of those theaters aren't open, and especially if markets like California and on the East Coast don't open up, well, that 80%, it's not quite at 80%. It's lower than that. So the box office might not be worth it, and they won't take the risk and release Tenet just yet this early. So yeah, I'm going to be, I want to be optimistic, but I feel like with everything happening right now, Tenet will possibly be delayed unless they want to roll the dice and just release it into some of the theaters open in the Midwest, which would really hurt the box office. I from a business standpoint, I don't think they're going to do that. Would I like to go see it? Yes, but I feel like the studio might delay Tenet a few more weeks. There's many theater chains saying that they probably won't open in some of the markets until late or mid-August, which seems a little bit more realistic to me. It's just bizarre. It's such a crazy time. It's just some things are closed, some things are open. My gym is open. You can go work out at the gym, do bicep curls, lay in someone else's pool of sweat, sit in the sauna with a naked old guy, but Walmart has limited hours. And in some stores, you still have to wear a respirator mask. So nothing makes sense to me right now. And on top of that, right now, AMC has put out a statement saying that they could possibly never recover from this, and they might close down. And there's been a lot of speculation and rumors floating around that Amazon might end up buying AMC theaters, which would make sense to me. And if they bought it right now, they would buy it at a very, very discounted price because everything's shut down and there's no real guarantee. So if Amazon was ever going to get into the theater business, now would be the time. So yeah, and truth be told, when it comes to theater chains, the one that wants to open soonest is Cinemark. Like I said, they want to open July 19th. And that's my favorite theater chain. That's the one I've always preferred to go to for over the last few years. I think they have the nicest theaters. They have delicious popcorn. And I've always really enjoyed my theater experience at Cinemark. So yeah, if you guys want to chime in, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think Tenet will be delayed past July 17th? I have a strong feeling that it will be delayed at least another month if they want to make the box office back, especially if this is a big budget film. They need the money. So chime in, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Gabe Asker says, what if Tenet's huge budget has to do with Leo showing up for a twist? Inception, maybe why no cast names? Your thoughts on this rumor? Gabe, you read my mind. So I almost made a video about this theory, and I still might make it. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone because this is just speculation from my brain to you guys, but I feel like Tenet is loosely based in the same universe as Inception. Very much so. I think the hints are all right in front of us. I think if you pay close attention to the composition of some of the shots, the look of the film, it's either Nolan is repeating himself and duplicating the exact same movements, camera work, style that he did in Inception, and duplicating all of that once again for Tenet, which I don't think Nolan would purposely do, or it's all purposely done to give it that same vibe, that same aesthetic, to look like it belongs in the same universe, which I would lean heavily towards. I watched the trailer for Tenet probably 25 times, and then I went back and watched Inception, and I rewatched the trailers from Inception. And if you pay close attention, there are a few shots that are exact duplicates. There are a few scenes that look like they take place in the same location. So I would believe that they take place in the same universe at the least. Maybe they're interconnected somehow. Maybe Hobbs shows up in the film. Is it Hobbs? Was that Leonardo DiCaprio's character's name? Hobbs? Yeah. Why do I feel like that's wrong? Either way, I feel like they're connected somehow, some way. So chime in, guys. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk about it. The next one comes from Ricardo Franco. Hey, Ricardo. Thanks for joining, man, and thank you for the generous Streamlabs. Much appreciated, and hope you're doing well over there in California. Hey, John. Hope you're staying safe. LA is saying we shouldn't expect theaters to open until August. That's if there's no new wave, so I guess no Tenet for us. Yeah, I would assume if LA is not opening until mid-August, the majority of theaters won't open until mid-August. And even if they do open, new films won't come out until mid-August. You can open all the theaters you want in the Midwest. That doesn't mean new big releases are going to hit those theaters. Will they show catalog titles from other studios? Maybe they'll show smaller films. But the big box office movies, I think, will probably all be delayed until mid-August. That is what makes the most sense to me. So yeah, it's crazy. And speaking of a new wave, the truth is when you start opening everything back up, it's going to happen. Logic would tell you more people will get the Kung flu. So that's unfortunate. That sucks. But it's going to happen. And it's just how we respond to that is how the future will continue on. So yeah, it's bizarre to me. Nothing like I said, it's like we live in an upside down universe right now. It's like everything shuts down. It's quarantined when less people have this, and then record amounts of people, it spikes, and then we open everything back up, and then we sort of pretend like it's okay again. I don't know. All right, the next one, on a lighter note, comes from Patrick. I enjoyed your 4K video. Is it just me, or does Quiet Place Steelbook look like it would be better fit for the It movie? Yeah, it's very dark and bleak, and the red letters on it sort of just blend in with the black cover of it. I do agree with that. Yeah, I do agree with that. So yeah, and by the way, guys, if you haven't checked out my 4K Blu-ray movie collection video, I put that over on the Flickpick channel a few days ago. Many people requested that video for a long time. I finally made it because, let's be honest, I'm running out of shit to talk about, and it was fun and therapeutic to make. So if you have 49 minutes, definitely go check out my 4K movie collection video over on the Flickpick channel. Claudio Rogajan. Nolan crashed a real plane for Tenet sequence. Yes, he did. He did indeed. Which is crazy because they said financially it made more sense to buy a real 747, I believe, and crash it as opposed to creating a CG one, which I don't know if I believe that. It seems like with the advent of technology and CG and how far it's come, it seems like it still would have been cheaper just to make a CG plane. But hey, don't get me wrong. If you can buy a real physical plane and practically crash it into a hangar and have real explosions, I'm all about that life. Give me more of that. But was it really cheaper? I don't know how could it possibly have been cheaper. But yeah, that's cool. That's Nolan for you, and that's why I appreciate him as a director. Cliff Boyce. Hey John, thoughts on Tropic Thunder? Oh, I love Tropic Thunder. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. stole that entire movie. Ben Stiller in that movie. The biggest surprising role for me was the first time I watched Tropic Thunder, which was what, 2008? Was it? I think, or 2007. I think Tropic Thunder was 2007, I believe. I did not know. Maybe I was not paying close enough attention, or maybe I was half asleep when I watched it the first time. I didn't know that was Tom Cruise with a prosthetic bald cap on, playing that outlandish role. I had no clue. Then I watched it again. I was like, oh, that's Tom Cruise. But first time I watched it, I did not know. The next one, Roman Bryant. Who do you think the villain should be in the MCU Spider-Man 3? Whew. Well, there's a lot of talk about Kraven the Hunter being the villain, and I like Kraven the Hunter. I think like Jason Momoa would be a great Kraven the Hunter. The only thing with that is it feels like sort of a step down when it comes to villains. When you have Spider-Man, he's a superhero. Like, Spider-Man is strong, powerful, can basically do anything and everything. And Kraven the Hunter is sort of just a guy who's good at hunting. And that's cool. That's fine by me. But I think he would make a better sub-villain, like a secondary villain. I still feel like Mysterio was sort of wasted in Spider-Man Far From Home. But as far as like a main villain of Spider-Man 3... this is an unpopular opinion. Let me share this with you guys. That's what I do. I've never loved the majority of the Spider-Man villains. I've liked the concepts behind them, but when they dive into their characters, I've never been a huge fan of the Spider-Man villains. Like, I love Venom. I think he's awesome. I like Carnage, but yeah, I don't know which villain of Spider-Man would you like to see? Anyone? Have Jamie Foxx return as Electro. Hey, Spider-Man, it's my birthday. I want to blow up my candles. Just terrible. Basically, the new incarnation of Mr. Freeze. I'd like to see a cameo of Venom in the new Spider-Man movie. Imagine the shock and awe if that happened. Just put him in there. Just put Tom Hardy in there at one point in the movie. Just for like 2 seconds. All right. The next one comes from Tyson Sherborne. Thoughts on Henry Cavill back as Superman? Hey, I was waiting for someone to ask that question. I love it. I love it so much. I think that's the wisest, that's the smartest choice Warner Brothers could have ever made. Not having Henry Cavill come back as Superman felt like a complete waste. Right now, if you look at Hollywood, I can't imagine anyone being a better Superman than Henry Cavill was. I like Man of Steel. I enjoyed that movie. Was it perfect? No. But was it my favorite Superman movie? Yeah, it was. I love the score by Zimmer. I love the theme of the movie. Do I wish the color grading was a little bit more vivid and not so gloomy? Yeah, I do. But overall, I remember really being blown away by Man of Steel and thinking it was a good start to the new DC universe. And then it sort of became a little bit messy after that, to say the least. But I was always hoping for a Man of Steel sequel. And it's looking like, if rumors and speculation turn out to be true, we might possibly be seeing a J.J. Abrams Superman movie. And many years ago, I think almost 15 years ago, J.J. Abrams was attached to direct a Superman movie long before Superman Returns, which was just a tired, tedious movie to get through. But yeah, it's looking like with Warner Brothers re-signing Henry Cavill to reprise the role of Superman. Now, right now, they're pretty much saying Superman will be a glorified cameo role in some of the upcoming DC films. Think of Superman like the modern day incarnation of Hulk in some of the MCU films, like Thor Ragnarok. He'll play a small role, a supporting role, but I don't buy that. Like, I think that will happen. But I also think they didn't just waste their time re-signing Henry Cavill to come back to being a couple cameo roles. He's coming back for a solo movie. I also have speculation, and I was going to make a dedicated video all about this on my main channel because there's a lot of things I still want to talk about and dive into when it comes to the Snyder Cut of Justice League. But I feel like, and I know the head of Warner Brothers originally said they were not going to do any actual reshoots or principal photography with the original cast of Justice League. But I feel like right now, with all the hype and anticipation for that Snyder Cut, I think Warner Brothers is sitting back and thinking, you know what, this could be bigger than even we ever thought it would be. And I feel like they're going to even put more money, more time, and more effort than they originally were into making the Snyder Cut better than it ever would have been. And I feel like Henry Cavill will come back for some reshoots for the Justice League. That's just a speculation for me. That's not been confirmed. But I feel like with him recently signing on right after they said, let's release the Snyder Cut, why would you not just go back and reshoot a few small sequences with Henry Cavill? I feel like they need some small scenes to tie that movie together, to make it better, to give more character development. So that's just what I'm thinking they're doing. But either way, I would love to see a Man of Steel sequel. Please give it to me. I need it now. Do I have faith in J.J. Abrams directing it? Yeah, absolutely. If Rise of Skywalker never came out, would I have a little bit more faith? Yes, probably a little bit more faith. But I'm looking forward to it. And I think it's great. I can't imagine anyone else playing Superman. Arthur Avila. Will you start reviewing older movies like Hard Rain? Ooh, I like me some Hard Rain, man. No one talks about Hard Rain. Not the greatest movie ever, but mildly enjoyable. Oh, Hard Rain. Christian Slater. Yeah, I would like to review some retro movies, sure. The thing is, when I talk about older films, I probably won't go out of my way to review bad ones. I would probably review some of my favorite films or underrated movies along the way, and more or less than review them, because I feel like a review is like, is this movie bad or good? I mean, obviously, we know films like Terminator 2, Judgment Day are phenomenal and great, and you guys know I love it. But what I would like to do is just really dive into it and just really just give more thoughts and what the movie means to me, rather than just a review of the movie. All right, the next one. Pottsy Weber. Leonardo DiCaprio as Batman, Johnny Depp as the Joker. Maybe in another universe somewhere else. I could see if they had made a Batman movie, if instead of Batman Begins, if that never happened and then Nolan made it, I could see Nolan casting someone like Leonardo DiCaprio and someone like Johnny Depp to play Joker. I could see that. I really could. Do I think that would have been? Do I think Leo's the best choice for Batman? No, he wouldn't be my first casting choice. But fun flick fact for you guys: originally, instead of Patrick or Christian Bale playing the role of Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, originally they wanted Leonardo DiCaprio. But Leonardo DiCaprio wanted to go do the film The Beach. So look how that turned out. I don't hate that movie. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. Those wouldn't be my preference for casting choices. I think Leo always would have made a great Batman villain more than he would have made a better Batman. Jeremy Cattle. Sorry, you know I can't read, but thank you for the super chat, Jeremy. Much appreciated, buddy. Thoughts on Ryan Gosling's casting in The Wolfman? I dig it. I don't know a lot of information about it. All I know is thanks to The Invisible Man being a success and making a lot of money. And by the way, speaking of The Invisible Man, let me show you guys something really quick. Yeah, Warner Brothers sent this a few days ago. It's the Mondo poster version of the Invisible Man one sheet, and I love artwork. I love just layouts and actual illustrative artwork for movie posters, and this is amazing. You can see the Invisible Man up there. You got the logo, you got the house, you have the font down there. I love the color scheme of it all. So yeah, that's a Mondo poster of Invisible Man. So I figured I'd show that to you guys. And by the way, last week I gave away 3 copies on Twitter, on the last live stream, and on Instagram. So I got in touch with everyone who won. So congratulations to you guys. And Universal should be sending you guys out your 4K copies of The Invisible Man. So yeah, thanks for joining the contest, and I will do more down the road. But well, I don't even remember the question. Oh yes, Ryan Gosling as the Wolfman. Yeah, I dig it. I think that makes sense to me. I'm looking forward to it. As far as the last Wolfman movie that came out, directed by Joe Johnston, that was bad. That was a bad movie. Arthur L.A. Villa. Do you see Spocalypse War animated movie? Thoughts? Apocalypse. Okay, sorry. It was spelled so bizarre. I know that's how they spelled it. I did not watch the Apocalypse War animated film, the DC film. I did not get a chance to watch it. I want to watch it. I just did not get a chance. I've heard it was good. Was it good? Did you like it? Dylan Peter. Hey, Dylan. How's it going? Hey, John. I'm excited for the Snyder cut, but what's the purpose for having Aquaman 2, Shazam 2, Wonder Woman 1984 when the cast isn't going to be in another Justice League movie? It's just for money and toys. Great question, and I have a great response for you. See, what happened was, as much as Batman v Superman was sort of a critical failure, and not, it did make good money at the box office, and Justice League was just a failure critically and at the box office. What happened was, to everyone's surprise, Wonder Woman turned out to be good. People loved it. Aquaman turned out to be a fun, big B-rate, big blockbuster movie. I'll say big just one more time. Big. And people enjoyed those. So rather than completely undo those movies, because they do have traction, people like it, they have a fan base, they do well at the box office on their own, there's potential there for sequels. And whenever you have sequels for movies and potential, that means more money for the studio. So why chop that off and stop doing it when you can make a few more sequels along the way, milk it for all you can? And I hope the movies are good, the sequels to those, and including Shazam. I think that's what they're doing. I think the studio is trying to get as many sequels out of those successful spin-off movies, the solo outings of the superheroes, before they completely undo everything and start from scratch. Or I think with the new fandom behind the release of the Snyder Cut, Warner Brothers might reassess the situation after the... here's almost what I think Warner Brothers is hoping happens. I think they're hoping that they can erase history, release the Snyder Cut, have a more conclusive and entertaining version of the Justice League, pretend that original version, the Joss Whedon version, never happened, and make this sort of the starting point to rehash the ideas to go forward with the DC universe of films. I think that's what they're hoping happens. And then with Flash, you can sort of do a Flash paradox timeline where you can erase things and do whatever you want at your convenience. Oh, that never happened. This happened. This happened. And then maybe they can introduce a new Batman into that universe. Anything's possible. And I think they're sort of just waiting to see how the Snyder Cut is received. And then maybe how the box office for the upcoming sequels to like Wonder Woman do. But I think Warner Brothers doesn't want to completely just destroy everything they already created. I think they want to utilize as much of it as they can and salvage it and see what happens in the future. That would be my best guess. All right. The next one. Gabe Asker. What if... Oh, we already answered that. Sorry. Come on, YouTube. Update. All right. Brevin's Flicks and Games. Hey, Brevin. This nightmare doesn't seem to end. It's crazy here in Louisville with the protests and everything. Please be careful, John. How are you? I hope you're okay, my friend. Well, thanks, Brevin, and I hope you guys are okay, too. And, yeah, it's just crazy right now. It's definitely a very charged, crazy time to be alive right now. There's a lot of things happening, and I just hope at the end of it, everything turns out for the better. I think the spotlight needs to be put in some places. I think changes need to be made. And, there's a lot of injustices happening and things need to be fixed. And maybe this will be the thing that corrects the course, And most importantly, I hope everyone's safe. But I don't want to dive into that. That's not what this live stream's about. This live stream's about just forgetting about society and life for a few minutes and just relaxing and having a good time. And let's continue on. All right. Okay, the next one also comes from Brevin, Flicks and Games. I hope we get to see Tenet soon. It looks amazing, but Nolan's best film for me is The Dark Knight. Soon I might review a crappy comic book movie. There's a lot of crappy comic book movies you can pick from, Brevin. Just randomly pick one. The odds are you'll probably pick a crappy one. I hope we do see Tenet. Like I said originally, I would love to go see Tenet at the theater as soon as it opens, but realistically, do I think it's going to happen? Maybe not. Claudio, you sounded kind of dead in your 4K video. I guess, man. I guess anytime I'm not like 150% hyped up on caffeine, I sound dead. But compared to a normal person, I feel like I'm still more energetic than they are. But when you make a 49-minute video, I just wanted to make a laid-back, relaxed video. I just wanted to talk about movies. I didn't want to be zippy, zany guy for an hour. I just figured we could lay back and talk about the movie. Sorry if I sounded dead, but I felt like I sounded sort of lively in that video. Still, I don't think I was dead. I was just laid back, just having a laid back discussion. I wanted you guys to listening to the soothing sounds of my voice, that's all I wanted. Tyson Sherborne. We already answered that. Sorry. All right. Trying to update here. We'll go backwards. Okay. Benny, is HBO Max worth it? I am on the fence. Well, here's the thing about HBO Max. I think it's a great streaming service if you can watch the streaming service. Here's the downside of HBO Max. Before they decided to put HBO Max out, it had a very limited capacity to where you could actually obtain the app. So HBO Max is not technically on Roku right now. If you already had HBO Go, I believe it upgraded to HBO Max and you can watch it. But as far as just downloading the app, they never made an agreement before it came out, which is baffling to me, to actually get the app. If you have an LG Smart TV, you can't actually download HBO on any capacity. I don't believe it's available on Amazon either to download. I know if you have like an Xbox 360, or an Xbox One, 360, what is this, 2013? You can get the app. The other thing is, there was another way to watch it, and it's escaping my brain right now. Oh, if you have YouTube TV, You can also get HBO Max, but the thing is, I have YouTube TV, but I also have AT&T, which if you have AT&T, their 1 gigabyte internet plan or their phone service, you can get HBO Max free. But if you have YouTube TV, you don't get it free because you still have to pay YouTube TV the fee. There's no way to get it free so it's a complete mess in my opinion. If I could get the app, I would watch it. I have it on my desktop, but I don't want to watch movies on my desktop. And I know I could probably hook up a laptop or a tablet with an HDMI cord to my TV and watch it that way. But when I want to watch a streaming service on my TV, I don't want to go through the laptop and then like pick it and then like watch it that's a pain in the ass. So no, thank you. But as far as all the content goes, looking at it, it has great films. And I've said this for many years. Netflix might have more films, but I feel like it's with HBO, it's always been quality over quantity, because 98% of the shit on Netflix I don't want to watch. It's just I don't want to see it. All right, the next one, King of the Hill 34. I'm so happy Henry Cavill will wear the CG cape again. Me too. That is funny though. He does wear a CG cape. Everything's CG nowadays in superhero films. I mean, half the time when you just see them standing around in their suit, it's CG. It's like it could be practical, but they still do it CG. Rick LP. AMC is not going to make it. Why should we care? I don't know. I guess you don't have to care. The thing is, if AMC dies and they shut down, it's just one less place to go and have that escapism to watch movies at a theater. The thing is, though, I think there's plenty of other choices. So as far as AMC shutting down, it doesn't really affect me that much because there's so many other theater chains to go to. And I think if one theater chain shuts down, all that does is increase spike and revenue and traffic to the other existing theater chains. But I have a strong feeling that if AMC does close, another theater chain will buy it, or possibly Amazon will buy it. Someone will buy the theater chain of AMC. So will it really close? Maybe temporarily, but forever. In one way or another, it'll still exist, in my opinion. Night King 01. Scorpion should be the next Spider-Man because... Am I reading this right? Scorpion should be in the next Spider-Man because he was in Homecoming, played by Michael Mando. Also, something like Tombstone as a secondary antagonist. Tombstone would be a secondary, like, muscle-bound antagonist. As far as Michael, is it Mondo or Mando? I always mispronounce his last name. I really enjoy him. I believe he was in Better Call Saul. Great actor. I think he should be in more movies. I don't know if I liked that version of Scorpion. I keep thinking of Shocker. I don't know why. Of Scorpion, sort of an underwhelming version of Scorpion in my opinion. But yeah, hopefully they elevate him and make him better. I never thought Scorpion was one of the more intriguing Spider-Man villains. I never really enjoyed him. And speaking of villains from Spider-Man, one of the worst interpretations of any villain in any comic book movie, besides Electro, was Rhino. Hey, Spider-Man, I'm going to come get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. It's just like, what happened there? Why did that happen? It deserved better. And that version of Rhino was the robotic version of Rhino in the Transformer suit. I wanted the real incarnation of Rhino. I wanted the big muscle-bound badass guy actually looking like a rhino. That's what I wanted to see. But yeah, Paul Giamatti. I don't know if he was I love me some Paul Giamatti, but probably not the best Rhino. Scott Dine. How do you not get demonetized when you use trailer footage in videos? ? Yeah, it's called fair use. It's completely legal. That's how, as long as you're using it for critical purposes or review purposes, you're completely covered under fair use laws. Because I'm using it to demonstrate an opinion or share my original opinion. It's the same way news outlets get to use whatever footage they want to talk or utilize when they talk about a segment. It's all fair use. For many years, YouTube didn't understand that, and a lot of studios never understood that. But the great thing is, I think now we're over the last year or maybe 2 years, we finally gotten to a place on YouTube where the studios are backing off and YouTube is easing up and actually acknowledging the creators and saying, okay, we get it, that's for fair use. And sometimes I still get claims probably every other month on a video, on an old trailer clip or a movie review. And by definition, a movie review is covered under fair use. And it baffles my brain that some of these studios still make claims. It's completely against the law. It's an abuse of the rules. But a lot of these times, it's an AI, an automated system that picks up on this footage. And sometimes you just have to dispute it. And 99% of the time, you'll probably win. At least I do. There's some times where I don't even waste my time disputing it. But yeah, it's frustrating. But yeah, the trick is if you do use trailer footage or clips of whatever you're talking about, I would try to use less than 10 seconds per segment of that footage or that clip that you're using. That way you can always sort of beat the AI system on YouTube. If you go any further than that, it really picks up on it and showcases it. So the system will pick up on it and flag it. So that's how you use trailer footage. Roman Bryant, John, when I'm having a bad day, I watch a review of Fantastic Four Stick. Funniest review ever. Yeah, that was I was hyped up on that one. I remember like chugging caffeine and snorting pre-workout before making that review. I look like I'm about to pop in that review because all the veins in my neck are pulsating and just I'm about to burst in that review. But yes, that was a very anger-driven, frustrated review of a bad movie. So yeah, if you guys have some downtime, go watch that review. I look back on that and I'm like, holy shit, I was pumped up. Yeah, that was a good review. I'm still waiting for another movie as bad as that to get into that same mindset. Carter Lovejoy. Have you thought about being a guest on Sardonicast with YMS and Ralph the Movie Maker and I Hate Everything? I would. If they asked me to, yeah, I definitely would be down for it. I'm a fan of all those guys. So yeah, I'm down for it anytime, man. Anytime I can talk about movies, I'm down for it. Jesus or Jesus, whatever pronunciation you prefer. Alfaro, hey John, have you seen Roland Emmerich's Universal Soldier starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren? It's on 4K for $15. I have seen it. I was never a huge fan of it, but I have seen it. Not one of my favorite Roland Emmerich films. For me, growing up, I remember watching it, but when I wanted to watch like big tough guy action movies about a group of like mercenary badasses saving the day, I was like, oh, I'll just watch Predator. So yeah, that's cool that it's on 4K. And Dolph Lundgren, I can never get enough of Dolph Lundgren. I don't care how bad the movie is. For some odd reason, whenever I see him in a movie, preferably a bad movie, I enjoy it. So yeah. Speaking of Roland Emmerich, The Patriot. So underrated. I think it's his best movie he's ever made. Terrence Hanna. Hey, John. Longtime fan. Love your videos. If my love for you was an ocean, you'd have to take 2 airplanes to get across it. That's a good one. Why don't you get on your knees and tell me how much you love me? I'll give you to the count of 10. 1, 2, 10. Great reference. Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you for confessing your love. It's much appreciated, and I feel like nowadays as men we don't get to do that as much. That's sad, isn't it? All right, let's continue on. Jack Malloy 6115. Hi John, I hope you're well. What are your thoughts on Monty Python's Life of Brian and Airplane? Also, do you prefer Knocked Up or This Is 40? All right, Monty Python, Life of Brian. Seen it once as a kid on VHS. Don't remember anything about it. Airplane is one of the great classic slapstick comedy movies, and really inspired an entire genre coming after that with like the what was the Leslie Nielsen movies. What are those called? Why can't I remember what those called? And then you had other movies like scary movies and things like that. But yeah, I liked Airplane. I don't love it as much as maybe I did as a kid. Some of the humor is like, that was fun, but feels like an SNL comedy sketch. Do you prefer Knocked Up or This Is 40? I don't remember much about This Is 40. I'm trying to think, have I seen This Is 40? I liked Knocked Up the first time I saw it. I thought it was like an endearing movie, ever so slightly, and it was one of Seth Rogen's like first big movies that made him a household name. I enjoyed Knocked Up. I really did. I just liked how his character had no job, no money, and they were trying to start like like a movie review website. All right, or no, it was like a porn site or something, wasn't it? Yeah, it was like a porn site, Celebrity News or something. I don't remember. Alejandro Ortiz. I just moved for the first time in my life. I was stressed the whole time. The fact that you've done it so many times makes you mentally insane, John. And with that said, let me take a drink of this. That's because I am insane. No, the truth is, if you don't move, you die. That's how I've always felt in life. You always have to keep moving and going and advancing. And the truth is, that's just the way my weird life has worked out for the past decade. I've just moved a lot. And a lot of it was by choice. A lot of it was by necessity. But I don't regret any of it. You know, it was always, moving sucks. It's expensive. The physically picking up a couch and putting it in the back of a U-Haul trucks sucks. That sucks, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Shit's heavy. But it's still kind of fun. You know, you move, you go to a new place. It's a new experience. It's a new adventure. So yeah. And this time I am moving again. Maybe I'll make a vlog video or something to share with you guys here on this channel, but I am moving, and that was always the plan for the last 2 years. This was never a permanent location. This was sort of just a temporary location. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be cool. And just to give you guys some insight, I'm moving to Columbus, Ohio, maybe in the next few months. And it's a big city, and I think there's a lot of cool things there to do. And hopefully once theaters do reopen, I can carry my press status that I had here to Columbus, Ohio, and when theaters do reopen, I can go see movies early in Columbus and start doing movie reviews again, which will be really weird. It'll be a weird time to go see a new movie in a theater and then talk about it. It's just like the things you take for granted in life. But yeah, good luck with your move. I hope you enjoy it. Ethan Clayton. Hi, John. In your opinion, what is an underrated Scorsese film? P.S. You're still a Mavrog. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I'll take it. A Mavrog, underrated Scorsese flick? Ooh. I feel like all the great ones have been talked about. I think Casino's better than Goodfellas. I'll just put that out there right now. I prefer it. What if I had to pick an underrated one? I don't know. Shutter Island, I always thought was sort of underrated and didn't get the conversation that it sort of deserved, even though I haven't watched it in a long time, but I remember it being like a solid movie. I did not like Hugo. I did not like the movie Hugo. I don't know, like The Departed is, all of his movies I feel like that I like, or people still like. I don't feel like he really has that underrated film. Or if he does, I'm not thinking of it off the top of my head. Roman Bryan, do you think the Batman will tie in with the Joker? Great. And there's a lot of questions above that. Don't worry, guys. I will get to all of the questions. Logic would tell me if I was Warner Brothers, I would somehow make it tie in. As loose as the tie-in, as loosely as you want to tie it in, that's fine. But not to tie it in would be a waste, in my opinion. Because let's think about this. You had the Matt Reeves Batman film. And with the success that the Joker was, and Joaquin Phoenix saying that he would be open to coming back now after the fact, not to have that open door, the possibility of having that incarnation of Joker showing up in this Batman universe, or at least being referenced, or maybe having a scene, whatever you want to do to completely close that off, I think would be a bad decision. So I would hope it exists in the same universe. And I keep playing with this pen. I don't know why. It's relaxing to click a pen. But people always say that the biggest complaint with that would be, oh, I don't want to see Joaquin Phoenix as Joker in the Batman movie because he's too old. No, no, no. The best incarnation of the Joker has always been that older version of the Joker with a younger version of Batman. That's always been the best contrast. So I don't see that that would work perfectly in my opinion. So I would like to see it. I hope they do reference it somehow, some way. But do they necessarily need to do that in the first Batman movie with Robert Pattinson? No, but I hope they keep it open for the next one. Unar Gunnarsson, John, can I have your opinion on mince and spinach? Keep up the good work. Maverista? I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means. Mince and I don't know what the fuck is mince and spinach? I don't know. I don't eat spinach, man. I don't know. I don't get the question. I don't comprehend it. Am I getting too old? I'm not quite sure. Ricardo Franco. Are there any movies that you love that people never think you like? Possibly. I don't know. I feel like I've confessed my love for all the movies I love over the years, so I don't feel like there's really any surprises left. There are some chick flicks I like Pretty Woman. I sort of enjoy that movie. Like, would you have imagined? I don't know. I enjoy Pretty Woman. Did I just say that? Yes, I did. But for some odd reason, it felt cathartic to say out loud. I don't know. There's a lot of bizarre movies I like. To give you one that would be truly mind blowing. Movies that I love that people wouldn't think I like. Yeah, I would assume you guys. I don't think I could surprise you guys with any movie that I said I like. I really don't. Which is a good thing, I guess. I've been transparent on YouTube for a decade now, so is there any surprises left? I don't know. Ethan Clayton. Hey, hi John. In your opinion, what is an underrated? I already read this. Come on, YouTube, update. All right, the next one comes from Jack Malloy. Hey, John, did you hear about the Big Lebowski spinoff about Jesus? Also, do you like This Is the End? I watched This Is the End one time in the theater. It was okay. I don't think it has a lot of rewatchability. As far as the spinoff of Jesus, 9-year-olds, dude. 9-year-olds. Yeah, I don't know how you make a convincing or compelling movie about a convicted child predator. like as fun as his character was in Big Lebowski for the small role that he had, to watch a film dedicated to his character, I don't know. I watched the trailer. I didn't really enjoy the trailer as much as I wanted to. So I don't know. I would rather just see a Walter spinoff movie with John Goodman. Like, I would rather see that. Or just make a sequel to The Big Lebowski. Like, give me that. I will watch the movie because I'm a huge fan of Big Lebowski, but I don't know. I have my reservations about the movie. Michael Leahy. Hey, John, speaking of Scorsese, what do you think of the news of DiCaprio will play a villain in Killers of the Flower Moon? Yeah, I believe that movie's been in post or pre-production for 20 years or 15 years. And if I'm remembering correctly, what that is, it's based on real life events of this hotel that was in Chicago, I believe. And in this hotel, there's all these trap doors and pathways where the owner of the hotel would murder people. And that just sounds like a great concept for a film. So yeah, I dig it. I think DiCaprio would be a great villain, and I would love to see that. So please. I've been wanting to watch that movie since it was first originally announced like 5 years ago. Patrick, John, thanks for the super chat. To this day, the funniest moment of your entire channel was many years ago. You and Chris were doing a live stream together. Your girlfriend walked in the stream talking about deers, and you were so disappointed. I remember that. I don't think she understood it was live. Like, she thought we were making a video, and I was like, I get it. We'll talk about the deer that you saw down the road in a few minutes. I do remember that. Yeah, gosh. Yeah, I just now remember that for the first time in like 5 years. I do recall though. Which live stream is that? I don't specifically remember. I want to say that was in 2013. Carter Lovejoy. Game recommendation: Detroit Became Human for PS4. I don't know anything about video games nowadays. I really don't. I'm like sort of an old soul when it comes to video games. My brain stopped retaining video game knowledge probably back in 2015. But yeah, that's okay. Well, if you say it's good, I believe you. Anytime like Detroit Became Human, I don't know anything about. Is it like kind of a post-apocalyptic game? That's like my favorite type of game to play. Uh, Abanish Mohatni? Abanash Mohatni. Thoughts on Bad Lieutenant being John Malkovich? Love Bad Lieutenant, especially the Nicolas Cage version. The Harvey Keitel version, I don't recall a lot about, but I prefer the Nicolas Cage version because Nicolas Cage. Being John Malkovich, I watched John Malkovich one time. I want to say on HBO, and I think I watched it at a time before I could appreciate the movie. So that's one of those films I'd like to go back and revisit. Jesus Afaro, what are your thoughts on Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins turning 15 years old on June 15th? Happy birthday to you, Batman. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's been 15 years. I remember when The Dark Knight turned 10 years old a few years back. Time flies when... yeah, maybe I need to talk about Batman Begins. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should make a video about Batman Begins. Maybe I will. Yeah, for me, Batman Begins was always that pivotal moment for me when it came to movies and watching them in the theater and looking at movies just slightly different. So yeah, I think that would be a good video to sort of go back and reminisce, or a good movie to talk about and reminisce about. Because when it comes to Batman Begins, you guys know I love it, but I do have some other thoughts about the movie that I've never shared, I guess. Patrick, have you watched The Color of Money? I didn't like it that much, but I still feel it doesn't get much credit. Color of Money. Why do I feel like I know this? Oh, the Hustling the Pool game, the Pool Shark movie. I never watched that in its entirety. Yeah, does it have Tom Cruise in it? Right? Tom Cruise in it. Yeah. I never loved it. I don't, but then again, I never remember watching the whole thing. So yeah, I want to revisit that. There was another movie. What's the other movie? Color movie. I thought you were referencing another film. Now I can't remember what it's. Oh, I thought you were actually referencing Colors, which is, if you watch the film Colors, that's sort of a great film to go back and rewatch with everything happening right now in society. But yeah, I thought that's what you're referencing because it sort of does relate right now to society. The next one comes from Ben Rappaport. Hi, John. What do you think about HBO getting Justice League Dark? Cool. I don't have any thoughts on it. I dig it. I'm gonna double check something here. Okay, yeah, I didn't watch Justice League Dark. Yeah, I didn't watch this, the animated 2017 movie. And I don't like that version of Batman in this either. I don't like the way he looks. Wasn't the voice actor the guy from the Drew Carey show? Wasn't he the voice actor for a couple of years on this? I did not like his voice acting as Batman. I could be wrong though. I don't remember. But hey, the more content, the better. Ricardo Franco, thanks for the Streamlabs donation, Ricardo. You guys are so generous today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And what I do is with these super chats, first of all, I pay the internet bill so you guys can look at my stupid face. But when I move, I want to sort of upgrade my setup to make it a little cooler than it is right now. So yeah, that's what I do. I keep making things better on the live stream for you guys. So thank you for the support, and it does mean a lot. All right, so Pretty Woman is a surprise. It's also great. Stay safe, John. Gotta go. I'll catch the rest of the stream later tonight. Well, thanks, Ricardo. And Ricardo has been a long-time supporter. He's been a Patreon supporter. Awesome dude. Yeah, Pretty Woman was a surprise. It's one of those fun movies, and it's just enjoyable. A hooker with a heart of gold and Richard Gere sort of buys his way into her heart in a weird way. I guess that sounds weird and bizarre, but I still enjoy the movie. All right. Armand Ananse. Armanense? I'm sorry, you guys know I can't read. Hi, Johnny. What's your favorite film to watch when I'm awake? Keep up the good work. Hi, Johnny. What's your favorite film to watch when I'm awake? Keep up the good work. I don't know if I comprehend your question. I don't understand the question, but I'm going to try to guess the question. I'm sorry. Favorite film to watch when I'm awake? Keep up the good work. I don't get the question. I really don't. It's almost like a riddle of sorts. My favorite film to watch when I'm awake? I don't know. I will tell you this. I watched Back to the Future yesterday on Netflix for the 987th time. And that movie somehow never gets old. But I will say this. The relationship between Marty and his mother in that film, when she's coming on to him, isn't it just so weird? I was watching that and I was just like, that's so weird when you watch it back. I don't know. For some odd reason, it affected me deeply the last time I watched it. So you're my Uncle Joey. Better get used to these kids. Get used to these bars, kid. And then, the weird thing about movies, when I watch them on Netflix, I always pick up on some kind of odd reference, and then I spend the next 10 minutes on my phone researching it. I'll give you an example. True story, and let me know if you guys are weird and bizarre and insane as I am right now. I started looking up 1.21 gigawatts. By the way, it's not actually pronounced gigawatts, it's pronounced gigawatts. And I looked up how much power is actually in 1.21 gigawatts. And it's not as much as you would think. So I researched that for 10 minutes. I just thought I should share that with all of you. Okay, let's continue on now as I ramble about nothing. Ben Rappaport. Who are you and where is John? I don't know what that means, but who are you and where are we? Where are we at right now? I feel like right now we're living in a parallel universe right now. I truly feel like when 2020 hit, the clock struck 12, something changed in the universe. A black hole opened up and swallowed us, and we're living in another dimension, another parallel universe, or maybe we're all in the Matrix right now, living in a little bathtub of warm goo. We're all shaved bald. We have no hair on our bodies, and there's huge machines sucking the energy and resources from our bodies, like batteries, to sustain and keep going. And we're all in the Matrix right now, and something clicked or something triggered, and there was a glitch in the Matrix in 2020. Am I crazy? Yes, I am. But what was the question? Oh, yes. I'm here, man. I don't know. That's just... I feel like I'm insane today. I really do. It's insane times. Claudio, Ledger was 27 when he played Joker. Bale, way older. Yeah, you're right. But Ledger's performance, it didn't matter. Like he was almost timeless in a way. That version of Joker could be 27, he could be 37, he could be 47. It did not matter. But yeah, Heath Ledger was way above, beyond his years. I feel like when it came to being an actor. And by the way, once again, like I said a few minutes ago, his performance, Heath Ledger was in the Roland Emmerich film, The Patriot, and what a great performance he gave. Like everyone in that movie, like Mel Gibson, Heath Ledger, one of his best performances. One of his best performances, so underrated. All right, let me scroll here, make sure I didn't miss any questions. Night King 01, Vincent D'Onofrio. I always screw up his name. Vincent D'Onofrio, back as Kingpin in new Spider-Man. Yeah, is he? Is that just a question? What I think about that? I think he was a good Kingpin. Do I think you need Kingpin in the Spider-Man universe just yet? No. Do I think you need J. Jonah Jameson? Yes, please. And I think it's been confirmed that he will be coming back for a few more movies. But yeah, by the way, Vincent D'Onofrio, there's a film called, it's called My Bodyguard, not the Tina Turner movie, but there's a movie made in the late 70s where a kid hires like this sort of outcast, quiet kid who's also like huge, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, and that's my first time I saw one of his movies. Highly recommend watching it. Go watch it. It also has Matt Dillon in the movie. Kyle E. Hey John, been a fan for about 7 or 8 years now. Your videos have helped me through some bad times. Appreciate it, man. Have you ever seen Smallville? Well, thank you for that so much, Kyle, and I'm glad you've been sticking around for 7 or 8 years. Much appreciated, and it's kind of crazy, right? It's sort of like we've been interconnected for 7 or 8 years. It's kind of some people tell me they've been watching since my first video, which was a decade ago almost, and it's just the kind of stuff blows my melon. So thank you for that. And have I seen Smallville? I have not watched Smallville. I've never been a fan of large superhero, fantastical characters brought to the small screen, or at least the versions I've seen thus far. Something about them just doesn't feel right to me. I feel like sometimes those just work better in a one and done 2-hour movie rather than a continuation or a series. But with that said, series like Daredevil, for example, where he doesn't have fantastical abilities. I mean, sure, he does, but he's not flying around. You know, the limitations that he has work best for a series, so you can carry it through. But when you watch like a series with Superman where he can fly and do all these things, it's like how do you continue that for 12 episodes? So I have not seen Smallville. I just haven't. I've heard good things though over the years. Brad Tastic. There we go. I read it. I know these films are a bit random, but they have been on my mind recently. What are your thoughts on Blade Runner 2049 and 2001: A Space Odyssey? Let me give you guys a quick little tidbit here. When I did my Blu-ray 4K movie collection video, I always do this. I always miss one movie, and I forgot Blade Runner 2049, which I do own on 4K. It was still back there on the shelf. I'm like, ow, that hurt. Fuck you, shelf. But yeah, I liked Blade Runner 2049. I don't think I loved it as much as some other people did. I think stylistically, from a technical standpoint, from a directing standpoint, love it. Just the whole story of Blade Runner has never, I guess it's never resonated with me as much as it has with some other people. When it goes to the first Blade Runner film by Ridley Scott, I never loved that movie either. I think it looks great. I get why people like it. I like the futuristic setting. I like the film noir vibe of it all, but it just never connected with me as much as I was always hoping to. I always remember rewatching it thinking, maybe I'll like it more this time. But Blade Runner 2049 looks phenomenal. 2001: A Space Odyssey, that paved the way for many sci-fi films after it. I think with the effects in that film, it showed that you could do pretty much what you needed to in a large-scale spectacle. And some of those effects in 2001: A Space Odyssey, they still look good to this day. And that film was made, 1968, 69? So it still blows my mind how great that movie looks. And I could get into some NASA conspiracy theories with that, but I'm not going to with Stanley Kubrick. But let's just keep going. I don't want to put a tinfoil hat on just yet. Django Fett 710. Thanks for the Streamlabs donation. Very much appreciated. What up, John? Glad you're still doing the live shows this week. I want to know your thoughts on Alien v Predator franchise. Also, would you like to see the return? I remember as a kid, I was in love with those films. I wasn't a very bright kid. The Alien versus Predator franchise. So when those films started coming out, I was a teenager, and the first one was sort of fun, right? You had the xenomorphs that took place in Antarctica. It's like, okay, this is kind of like a fun B-rate movie you could watch on a rainy night. I get it. And then you had the other films that came in the franchise, which were just complete travesties and wasted potential. And I remember the one, I don't remember specifically. I want to say it came out in 2000. I don't remember which year it came out. It was like 2007. It was one of the AVP movies where it was so dark that you couldn't even tell what was happening. It was just such like, it was like, why did you even make this? Yeah, the thing with Predator movies, I never understood how we could never get like a great sequel to Predator. With everything that you can do, why did we never just get that great sequel that we always wanted to see? They always failed some way, somehow. Balls in the Hole. Well, that's a great name. Hey, John, what do you think is the main reason behind all the critics' hate for the Professor and the Madman? Thoughts on the movie? It was amazing. The Professor? Is that a newer movie? Because I don't think I have watched it. Let me double check this for you, so I can give some insights to your question. The Professor, okay, has a 6.7, 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh shit! Oh, the Johnny Depp movie. Yeah, Johnny Depp, Learning to Live, a College Too. Johnny Depp has been picking some oddball movies. What was the other movie Johnny Depp did like a few years ago? It was just bizarre for the sake of being bizarre. I don't know why he picks some of the movies he does based on some of the scripts. You think he'd be in better movies. When it comes to Johnny Depp movies anymore, I don't get that excited about them because a lot of them just aren't very good anymore, which is sort of disappointing, isn't it? It's like, what happened? Oh. By the way, speaking of Johnny Depp, when's the last time you guys watched Gilbert Grape? That's a great movie. Not enough people talk about that. Gilbert Grape. Roman Bryant, live action Mask of the Phantom. Or I'm sorry, live action Mask of the Phantasm, yay or nay? Well, arguably, probably most people would agree it's the best animated comic book movie ever made. And I think it works great for that. Do I think we need a live action version of it? No. I think we should just stick to the animated version. I think that's what works best. Yeah, and the thing I liked about the Mask of the Phantasm is they sort of took like an unknown villain and made it the main antagonist of that, and I thought that was a smart move. Craig Thompson, what are your favorite Arnold phrases and your thoughts on the Ted movies? I liked the first Ted movie. I would probably never go back and rewatch any of them, but yeah, what was it? Thunder Buddies. I always liked that. I liked Mark Wahlberg. I like movies about just two dudes hanging out, like buddy movies. I've always enjoyed those. Favorite Arnold phrases? Nice to meet you. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Who is your daddy and what does he do? It's not a tumor. I'm a cybernetic organism. Just to name a few. Just to name a few. The next one from, can I call you, is it Jesus Alfaro? Hey, John, would you watch 12 Monkeys starring Brad Pitt showing his bottom to the camera and acting with Bruce Willis, with Willis has to go to the future to save 5 million people from a virus? Very relevant movie nowadays. I probably would like to go back and rewatch it. I always remember I liked concepts about 12 Monkeys, but then you watch the movie and it feels like one of those bizarre 90s movies that goes a little too rambunctious and goes off the rails stylistically from what I remember. But I remember it being like a really grungy, gritty movie. Yeah, that's one of those movies I need to go back and rewatch. And the concept is so relevant to everything happening nowadays. I just wonder if... Here's what I wonder, though. With everything happening right now in society, the next big surge of movies all relate to what's happening in society. Like think about this. If you make a movie and you have to talk, and that movie takes place in 2020, for example, in that movie, people will be wearing masks and buying hand sanitizer for $500 a bottle. And it's like, will movies reference these events for years to come? Do they want to reference these events for years to come? Or do they just want to pretend like 2020 never happened and sort of just make the movie you want to make without having to dilute it with the events that are happening right now? It's sort of an interesting thing, right? I wonder if movies, like if art will imitate real life, and they'll capture 2020 in some upcoming movies. And then it makes you wonder if this whole new surge of movies all reference the events of things happening in 2020, or somehow the plot revolves around it, if audiences will get tired and sort of just burn out once we move past everything happening. So I don't know. Makes you wonder. Or if things do continue and wearing a mask becomes the complete norm for years to come, will new movies taking place in present day, will actors be wearing masks like when they go out in public? Kind of, it makes you wonder how things are going to work out from this point on, doesn't it? All right, the next one comes from Greg Z. Thanks for the Streamlabs donation. Hey, John. Thanks for answering my question last stream about Time Cop. I don't have any questions this week. I enjoy your stream, Greg. Well, thanks, Greg. Yeah, and I do remember answering your question about Time Cop, saying it's probably the best Jean-Claude Van Damme movie of all time, but not my favorite. Yeah. Speaking of that, I want to go back and watch Street Fighter. Why do I want to watch? I've had to, right now, this is my best advice for you guys. If you guys just want to escape life for a little bit, you can either watch my live streams or you can go watch a really shitty movie. And that is the greatest pure escapism you can have. So my advice for everyone this week, let's all go watch Street Fighter. Huh? How's that? Night King 01, The Running Man or Commando? Oh, gosh. Commando is so funny. Commando gets funnier the older it becomes. But for me, I always thought the concept of Running Man was much more fascinating, and I thought it gave you more. I mean, you can watch Arnold running around in a spandex yellow suit, escaping things, and just trying to survive. I always thought the concept was much more intriguing in The Running Man, so I would say that's my preference. Elliot. Hey, John. Iron Man v. Cyborg. Who would win and why? Probably Iron Man, just because it's Iron Man, and Cyborg. Am I saying? I keep saying Cyborg. Cyborg. To me, though he has more capability and more abilities that he can do that are, I just think Iron Man would probably win in that outing. Then again, Captain America technically beat Iron Man, and he's just a dude jacked up in super soldier serum. So I don't know, but I'd go with Iron Man. Why? Because he saved the universe. We'll just go with Iron Man. If he can defeat Thanos, then I would say he could probably beat Cyborg. Obed Arzaga, have you seen the movie I'm No Longer Here? That sounds so familiar. Why does that? That is not the movie I was thinking of. No, I have not. It has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. What is the synopsis here? After a misunderstanding with a local cartel, a young man is forced to leave behind his family, friends, and everything he loves. Okay, I dig it. It's on Netflix. Maybe I can look into this. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I'll add it to the list. All right, the next one comes from Rando Commando 41. Superbad or The Hangover? Oh, Superbad all day. Superbad is one of my favorite comedy movies of the last 20 years. For me, it's timeless. It's completely relatable. It reminds me of my high school years more than any other movie, and I like the movie more because it's a little bit more grounded. The Hangover is like a little crazy and over the top. But Superbad to me is just like the perfect relaxing comedy movie to watch that never gets old. All right, guys, I have many more questions to get to. Don't worry, I will not skip them. But I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to get another drink. So this is your moment to go refill your popcorn, grab something cold to drink, and I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere and leave some more questions. We'll dive into it. I'll be right back. And we're back. This is it. Don't get scared now. By the way, before we continue on, I always get questions. John, when are you going to do the live stream? The live stream is every Tuesday unless something happens and I change it, and I do announce that on Twitter. So live streams are every Tuesday. And by the way, before we continue, I want to show you guys something really cool I designed, and it's a t-shirt that you can actually pick up right now. You don't have to. It's okay. But if you want a really kick-ass t-shirt that accreditates you as a person and as a human being and says something about you, check this t-shirt out right here. I have to return some videotapes. Look at that. Look at the detailing. Look at the letters. Look at the font. Look at Patrick Bateman's face right there in that VHS tape. That shirt right there will transcend you back in time, and this is the greatest excuse to use whenever you have to get out of any situation. So if you guys want a closer look at this t-shirt, it's at Teespring. I put the link down below in the description, and it's also in the description of all my videos. So yeah, check it out. And hey, if you guys want to pick one up, please tweet me a picture of you guys wearing the shirt, or the shirt laying on your bed or holding it. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. But if you tweet me a picture, if you pick up the shirt, I will definitely retweet it, because that is the least I can do for you guys picking up one. So yeah, I love it. By the way, this is the tri-blend version of the shirt. I like the tri-blend ones. They just lay better. The material feels a little bit better, the tri-blend material. So yeah, I dig it. Yeah, so I wanted to share that with you guys. All right, let's continue on and answer some more questions. Abinash Mahatni, thoughts on the Coronado trilogy? You missed my super chat. Actually, I looked back, Abinash, and I did answer your question about Bad Lieutenant earlier. But my thoughts on that trilogy, I love it. I think I would probably say Hot Fuzz is my favorite of the trilogy, because of the Point Break references in that movie. And weren't they supposed to make a sequel to World's End? Weren't they supposed to make a sequel to that? I enjoyed that movie. I have a review for it. I have not watched the movie since watching it in the theater, but I do remember enjoying the movie. Rando Commando. Oh, we already answered that. Sorry. Ben Rappaport. Hey, John, did you see the SpaceX shuttle launch? What did you think of the video? I did watch it. I did not watch it live. But yeah, it's truly mind-blowing and fascinating. It's sort of like it's a weird time to be alive, because if Elon Musk's SpaceX program advances on, maybe that'll take decades and decades to truly go to Mars, for example. It's just a cool time to be alive, to witness the start of it. Like maybe in 100 or 200 years, when people look back, this was the starting point to something great. And it's fascinating. It's just it makes you wonder where it's going to go. But right now, it's just sort of in the very, very early stages of privatized space exploration, and I think that's great. You know, it's sort of like, if you have enough money, you can go to space now. I'll never have enough money to do that, but it's cool that it can happen. And also, it's crazy that people are willing to sign up to go to Mars and have no return trip, which is. But right now, with everything going on, I wouldn't mind going to Mars. Just as long as I can do my live stream on Mars, and you have streaming services, you'll be just fine. All right. The next one, hey Zeus, hey John, it's Jesus, like how you spell Samuel L. Jackson says in Die Hard with a Vengeance. Hey Zeus, okay. The name's Hey Zeus. Yes, absolutely. By the way, great movie. Have you seen Children of Men from 2006? The plot features everyone fighting an apocalyptic war, and later on, the youngest person on Earth is born. Yes, I have seen Children of Men, and I think if you take out the fact that no new births can happen, I think if things continue, society will sort of look like Children of Men in 20 years. Or at least in some places it might. I honestly think we're entering like V for Vendetta. Yeah, I feel like things are going that route. But with all that said, yet Children of Men is a phenomenal film. The way it looks, the way it was filmed, I think it's mind-blowing to watch. And just talking about it right now, I could go watch it again right now. Dan Peters. Thoughts on these Vietnam War movies: Platoon, Apocalypse Now, Full Metal Jacket, We Were Soldiers. Which is your favorite? Well, the thing about Platoon, I've watched Platoon maybe a few times. I liked it. I don't think I loved it. Apocalypse Now, I think, is when it comes to like the cinematic scope of the movies is the biggest and has some great iconic scenes, especially when they're coming in on the choppers with the music playing. For me, Full Metal Jacket, I love the first act of Full Metal Jacket, and that's sort of like my favorite part of the movie. And once they leave boot camp to go to the actual war, I don't remember a lot about it. I always enjoyed the first act for some reason more. We Were Soldiers. I don't remember a lot of Mel Gibson, right? I don't recall a lot about that. There's also some other great Vietnam films. I mean, I even in Forrest Gump, I enjoy the segments that take place in Vietnam. But yeah, I would probably say my favorite out of that bunch is maybe Full Metal Jacket. The next one comes from Brevins Flicks and Games. Your 4K video was good. You put a lot of dedication into your videos, and as a fellow YouTube critic, I have a lot of respect for you. I'll be updating my VHS collection because I have a lot more tapes. Well, cool, man. Well, thank you for the kind words, and thanks for that. Yeah, I try to make the collection videos as good as I possibly can. I really do. For me, when it comes to like collection videos, every time I hold up one of my movies, I don't want to just hold it up and say Inception and throw it down. I want to talk about it for a few seconds to get some insights to it. A little bit more substance has always been my style when it comes to those videos. So yeah, thank you for that. And I have one VHS movie. I would like to have more though. I feel like just having them as like background props would be kind of cool. I'm sure I could probably buy a box of like awesome VHS movies on eBay for like $3. Like 6,000 VHS movies for $6. All right, the next one. Come on, YouTube. Update. Why is the chat so... The chat is not updated at all over here. Okay. Here we go. Patrick says, gotta go, John. I'll watch the rest later. Thanks for the great time. Well, thanks, Patrick, and thanks for joining, man, once again. Let's answer a few YouTube member questions. Farrell Lovely. Oh, I don't know if that's a response to something. Mr. Drown73 says, how are the nips? They are fine. Mr. Drown73. Oh, these are just like responses, not so much questions. Mr. Drown says, how about Spider-Man 3? It's been ages since I saw it. I don't want to talk about Spider-Man 3. I refuse to talk about it. I've talked about that movie so many times. I have nothing left to give. Actually, I almost wanted to make a dedicated video specifically talking about it a few weeks ago, but I did not do it. Rob K, don't punish yourself with Street Fighter. Oh, yeah. You got to punish yourself every once in a while because it just feels right. Everyone watch Street Fighter. Please do it. Do you have the pen? Because I have I don't get that. Mr. Drown73 says, my ex-friend made me watch Ted so many times, effing times, it stopped being funny after the first time. Yeah, for me, the Ted movies were like funny one time. Hi, John. Did you watch The Game 1997 with Michael Douglas? And if you did, what did you think about it? Yeah, that's a Fincher film. Now, I think that's probably one of my least favorite Fincher films. It has Sean Penn in the movie as well. It's one of those movies that's hard to buy into by the third act. I'm like, I get it. I get what they were going for, but I just couldn't. It wasn't selling me as much as the movie had tried. I was like, there's no way all this worked out and somehow functioned in reality. It was like, there's no way. Did you buy the Alien Anthology Blu-ray set? I have Aliens 1 and 2. I don't think I have them on 4K though. No, I don't. I just have the first two Alien movies because that's all. Those are the only ones I want to watch. Tom Yostin, hey John, thanks for the recommendation with 1917 on 4K, solid film. Maybe not the best war movie ever made, but I can't deny the execution and the direction. Absolutely, I did not technically give a recommendation for 1917 on 4K because I do not own it on 4K. I have the Blu-ray, but and that's what was sent to me by the studio. I just haven't got around to picking up the 4K, but absolutely, man, when it comes to a technical masterpiece of a film, the way they made that film, it just blows me away. Like that's it's truly a masterpiece when it comes. Like the most fascinating thing about 1917 is the making of the movie. Hector the Chill Guy. Hey, John, does Once Upon a Time in Hollywood get criticized so much more than other Tarantino films? In regard to what? I don't think so. I think the people who like it love it, and I think it got the praise it deserved. A lot of people say it's just simply not their favorite Tarantino film, which is, I think, completely fair, and I understand it. For me, I like it more every time I watch it. But I think it got... didn't it get great critical responses? I thought people really loved it. Obed Arzaga, can you say hi to my dog, Luna? She is watching you. Hi, Luna. How are you? Oh, is Luna a good girl? Okay. What am I doing? I'm giving shout outs to dogs right now, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. 2049 is better than the original Blade Runner. Maybe in some ways, yes, it is. In other ways, I still feel like the original just, because it was the original. It was a little bit more mind blowing to watch it. All right, let's answer a few more here. John, I can't afford to be a member anymore. Missed my second super chat. Hopefully, I'll be able to be a member again soon. Gabe Asker. Gabe, I think I've answered all of your super chats, but I will go down the list and make sure I answer all of them before I go, so no worries. Sometimes YouTube just simply does not update and give me all of them. I do my best to go down the list and answer as many. And what I do, sometimes when I miss them, I'm going to make a separate video, or I'll include them in a vlog video. I screenshot them and I'll answer them in a separate video if I somehow miss one, but I'm doing my best to keep up. Christian Baller. John, my girlfriend is out tonight and she doesn't like moves. I'm home alone and free movie to watch on either Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. Any thoughts? By the way, Django is the best Quentin Tarantino movie. I assume she doesn't like movies, in which case you need to break up with her and go to Tinder and start swiping. I'm just kidding. Yeah, good movie to watch right now. For me, I've been watching a lot of just like classic films that I love that take me to a happy place, because I feel like that's where people need to go right now, is to a happy place. So for me, like, go watch Back to the Future. Go watch Back to the Future. That's what you need to be doing. Speaking of, actually, that's a lie. Everything I just said was sort of a lie. I watched the, what is his name? It's called Filthy Rich. It's a documentary right now. Why am I forgetting his name? The guy who supposedly did not commit suicide in his prison cell. Someone remind me of his name. Anyway, I watched that documentary, and that just makes you feel seedy and dirty inside. I will say that. Christian Baller, a happy film, please. Feeling a little blue. Go watch Back to the Future. That's a happy film. Trying to think of anything else right now that's on Netflix that's sort of a happy film. I would say Home Alone, but I don't think it's streaming anywhere. I hope Bill and Ted 3 doesn't suck. Me too. That'd be totally bogus if it did. Guys, calm down. I will read the super chats. I'm trying to read everyone's chat, so we will get to these. I assure you, I'm getting to them right now. It's okay. Claudio, Smallville works as a show because he's not Superman. He gains his more fantastical powers as the series progresses. He doesn't really fly until season 7. That's why it works better than The Flash, in my opinion. Yeah, I get that logic that he's slowly progressing his powers. I can see that how that would be fun. But for me, when I watch a Superman movie, I sort of just I don't want to wait 7 seasons to watch the guy fly. That's all I'm saying. Maybe I'm impatient. I don't know. Okay, the next one comes from Jesus. John, would you like to do a reaction video on your oldest videos, such as you going to Walmart, buying barbecue sauce, or going to an XXX video store, or even trying to take out the driver of a yellow Hummer, or going to your Dollar Tree and seeing all the disgusting meats? You really encapsulated that right there with that one sentence, didn't you? Wow. You made me sound like a lunatic just right there. All those things are true and did happen if you guys go back and watch some of the older Flick Trip videos. I have been asked to go back and do a reaction video or two to some older videos I've made. Well, I will say this. This October will be officially 10 years on YouTube, and I have an idea for 1 or 2 videos, so that's a strong possibility I could go back and react to a few videos just for fun. Yeah, why not? So yeah, I would like to do that because sometimes I go back and watch some of my older videos and I'm just like, what the hell is happening here? All the traffic crimes I committed in those videos is insane. I should be in jail right now for those crimes, but I'm not. Like there's one video where I'm flying like 80 miles per hour and I fly through like a stop, not a stop sign, a red light or something. I'm just like, what was happening there? Like, what was happening? But I don't, good times. All right. Oh, Grim Silo. Did you see Rogan exclusively joins the Spotify, particularly because of YouTube censorship? Do you and content creators, will you follow suit and use the platform and use other platforms? Sorry, I butchered your question there. Yeah, Grim, you also asked that question last week and I didn't get the update until after the stream. I actually had it screenshotted to talk about. Yes, so I did hear about Joe Rogan leaving YouTube to go to Spotify, and he's also being paid a shit ton of money to do it. Let's keep that in mind. But yeah, YouTube censorship is just insane. And you have to understand from YouTube's point of view, they have to cover their own butt because they get sued left and right by studios and people and with the government stepping in and regulating if videos can feature kids and if they're for kids or not for kids. It's only going to get worse. So Joe Rogan, I think, made the right move, and he's going to go over to Spotify, which I do have, and I do watch the Joe Rogan podcast. I think sometimes it's really intriguing with some of the guests he has on there. So I'm a fan of it, but would I go to another platform? It blows my brain, or blows my melon, I guess you could say, that there's not another platform to really go to. I mean, there are some other video sharing services, but how is there not a real competition with YouTube? I don't know how it hasn't happened yet. If that did happen, yeah, I would probably just do both. Why not just upload a video on both platforms and share it to more people? So I think the competition would be great. And Spotify, if Spotify could open up and start opening it up to video sharing, that would be amazing. That could be a game changer. So I've been waiting 10 years for another platform to open up, but every time one does, it doesn't really amount to much, and it sort of just fades off into obscurity or no one watches it. Sorry, trying to read more questions here. Okay, here's another one. Mr. Drown 73. Hey, John, hope you're staying safe and doing well. Do you think the reincarnation is a good thing? And if you would want to come back and be a totally different person with no recollection of your current life. Something about a fresh start sounds tempting. A fresh start sounds too good to be true. You plug it into a system and it just erases everything? Yeah, I'm referencing The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, that does sound cool. Maybe I have a feeling if I was reincarnated, I'd come back as a goldfish. For some odd reason, I just feel like that's what would happen. Christian Baller. John, my girlfriend. Oh, I already read this. Come on, YouTube. Jenny's Reality became a YouTube member, so thank you. Yay! Thank you for that. And look out for the special extra bonus content that only YouTube members and Patreon members can watch. So if you want to see my stupid face in bonus Flick Trip mini vlog videos, keep a lookout. And Q&A videos. Joshua Paul Peterson, the 88th. Yo, this is the first super chat ever. Tell me, how do I get a Nintendo with Zombies Ate My Neighbors installed? Great question, Joshua. And you'll have to do what I'm going to do. And that is what you have to do is you have to hack into your SNES Classic back there and install it and mod it. So what you can do is there are people on eBay where you can buy a modded SNES Classic, or you can go to, I believe on Etsy, there are people that will mod it for you. You pay like $50. You send them your SNES Classic. They'll mod it, send it back to you, or you can just watch a YouTube tutorial video on how to do it. So that's how you add it. You can add like 250 games or something. So that's my plan. Jenny's Reality. Hope Reeves does the Death in the Family story. That would be cool. I'm hoping he does obviously right now he's doing the Long Halloween story. So that is one of my favorites. And I think if you can just implement that into the movie and it works out, that's the perfect Batman movie that I've been waiting to see for a long time. Claudio Rogajan. Six Underground made me want to kill Michael Bay. That's the movie that made you want to? I would say Pearl Harbor was mine, but yeah, it's a rambunctious, mindless movie, and it's a very self-indulgent Michael Bay movie. It's just like he didn't even try to do anything different. He's just like, I'll take the worst bits of all my movies and make a collage. Here it is. So I do agree with you. There just wasn't really anything redeeming about it. Like even Pain and Gain. Not a good movie, tonally completely misses the mark, but like it's still fun to watch. Like I liked the workout moments. I liked The Rock. I liked Mark Wahlberg in the movie. I gotta get a pump. Like things like that were great, but everything else was just like it was just too Michael Bay. Odin's Movie Blog, my co-host on my Patreon podcast. Hey Odin, hope you're doing well, man. Whoa, you say so sexy, John. Ha ha ha. Whoa, you so sexy, John. Thanks. Thanks, man. Thank you for that. Thank you for the compliment. See, that's things men should be able to say to other men. I'm just putting that out there right now. We're all friends. We can say what we want to each other. Who's to judge us? Joshua Paul Peterson, the 88th. I unsubscribed at one point, John. I'm sorry for that. You are a weirdo, and I dig it. Killing it, bro. Why'd you unsubscribe? Huh? Tell me right now. I offer you entertainment. I sacrifice. I do whatever it takes for free entertainment. All you have to do is subscribe. It's completely free. That's fine, though. Hey, no hard feelings, man. I just want to know why you did. Why did you? Tell me now. But that's okay. Brevins, Flicks, and Games. My newest tape was 2 of the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm missing 2 towers, getting Spider-Man 2 soon. If you can continue to support me, thanks, John. Yeah, guys, Brevin Flicks and Games has a YouTube channel. Nice guy. Talks about movies. Check him out. Smaller YouTuber. Yeah, so I think you're referencing VHS movies there. For me, if I buy VHS movies, I'd want to purely buy like 90s and 80s classics. That's what I would probably go for. All right, let me dig through some other questions here because YouTube is just a complete and total technical mess right now. And I'm trying to keep up with your glorious, amazing questions right now. Joshua Paul says, you promised videos and didn't deliver. Sometimes that is true. I can't deny it. There are some times where there's videos I want to make, somehow they just don't happen, or sometimes I just take a long time to make them, and I'm sorry for that. Sometimes life does get in the way though, and it's not that I don't want to make them, man. It's just sometimes you feel so beat down and battered that it's hard to push record on that camera, and I'll say it again, and I've said it 100 times. Unless I truly want to give you guys everything I have and give you 110% in a video, I can't make uninspired bullshit videos. I can't do it. I just can't. I never have. And even simple videos, I've always went out of my way to make them as good or as creative as I possibly can, because I feel like you guys deserve videos like that. So that has been my biggest negative on YouTube. Sometimes there's videos I say I'm going to make, I never make it, but I have every intention to doing it. But then eventually, at some point down the road, I do make the video. Slam dunk. John has a large gay fan base. That is a strong possibility, but hey, I love it. I support it. I enjoy it. Any fan base who wants to come in here and look at me and interact and talk about movies, that's fine by me. Mr. Drown, we get you, John. Well, thank you. I think a majority of you do, and that's why I love you guys so much. I would not change my subscribers for anyone else. Like I might not have as many subscribers as someone else, but I wouldn't trade them because I have some of the best subscribers. So, and now I want to hug all of you, but we can't do that. 6 feet social distancing. Will you do more movie reviews? I would. It's just for some reason people don't watch them. I feel like if I make an older video like that, just a majority of people, like, they say they want it, but then they don't watch it, and it's just like, okay, well, I guess you didn't want it. I don't know. I'm not opposed to it because there's a lot of great older films I'd love to talk about. Rob K, quality over quantity. Keep it up, John. Great work. Well, thanks. That's always been my motto, but I think I could definitely have more quantity in there sometimes. Social distancing is over. More or less it is. It really is. It's to the point where it's just like, don't let anyone lick your face, but go out there, live your life, take some precautions. Do your best, but move on with your life as much as you can and be safe. Cyber social distance hug. Yes, indeed. This is a cyber social distance hug. I just got hungry all of a sudden. I need to go eat. Okay. I need to go return some videotapes. All right, let's answer a few more questions over here, so I don't miss any. Come on, YouTube is so slow right now. Come on, YouTube. Come on. All right, here's another question from Night King 01. How about Batman movies until we get Clayface? How many Batman movies until we get Clayface? I know people like Clayface. He sort of has a fan base, but for me, Clayface was just not one of the villains I liked. I've always liked a slightly more realistic approach to villains. And when I say realistic, like, do I accept that Mr. Freeze can be a Batman villain? Yes. Do I accept Bane can be a Batman villain? Yes. But when you have Clayface, especially from the animated and cartoons and comic books, he was a little too fantastical for me for the Batman universe, and I liked the grounded villains. So I don't really need to see Clayface in a Batman movie. Right. Looking for questions just in case I missed any, and I always somehow do, but I do my best to read them all. Manny Leguat. Hey, John, thoughts on Death Sentence and Idle Hands? Very, no one talks about either of those movies. Idle Hands, I sort of enjoyed, kind of a fun late, that was 99, right? It starred the guy from Final Destination, who was also in the new film, The Fanatic, starring John Travolta. Please go watch it. I liked it. Death Sentence to me was always a great film. It's either James Wan or Justin Lin. One of the two, I forget which one. But Death Sentence to me was so underrated, starring Kevin Bacon, true vigilante movie. Really enjoyed it. I think Death Sentence was a very underrated film. Come on, come on, YouTube. Please update. Please update. We're going here. Okay, I think I answered them all. I think I answered all the questions. I always feel like such an asshole if I miss anything. Jesus Alfaro, John, what were the best moments from 2010 to 2020? Buying $5 Blu-rays at Best Buy, using your God voice when you pull up to Best Buy, getting 80 cents, buying rat traps, wearing a Transformers suit, being Iron Man, smoking coke, reading from a fortune cookie. I don't remember smoking coke, but I do remember and recall all of these other events. Some good times. I remember all of these videos. I do remember the $5 Blu-rays when Best Buy had the trade and save program where you could bring in any old shitty DVD and upgrade it for $5 and buy a Blu-ray. At the time when Blu-rays were like priced higher than they are now, and they were a new format and they were really exciting at the time, that was amazing. I remember like it was like Christmas every day. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go trade in some DVDs and go to Best Buy and buy all these movies, and that was really fun. I wish they would do that again. Like, why can't Best Buy do a thing like another trade and save deal, upgrade to 4K, bring in an old Blu-ray for $5? Huh? Just putting that out there. But right now you can't even go into most Best Buy stores. The other day I actually was, what you have to do now to go into Best Buy, or at least most of the locations, you have to reserve an appointment. You can go into Best Buy. You have an employee that goes with you, beside you, like an escort, and you can buy or look at what you're looking at, which is just weird and bizarre. But I was still going to make a flick trip video doing it, and I was hoping I'd have a really cool Best Buy employee with me that wouldn't get angry, but I thought that would be kind of fun. But yeah. Over the years, there's been so many videos, man. The trade and save was probably my favorite, though. Luis Cortez, hey John, Jake Gyllenhaal or Ryan Gosling? Jake Gyllenhaal, because he was in some of my favorite movies of all time. I like Ryan Gosling, but I would probably go with Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he has more range. Night King 01, is Warner Brothers afraid to put in more fantastical villains? I don't think they're afraid. When it comes to, I mean, if you look at Wonder Woman or if you look at Aquaman, they have fantastical villains. I always preferred, like I said, Batman villains to be a bit more grounded, but I think you'll see some fantastical villains showing up in the upcoming solo DC films. Yeah. Especially in Shazam. Gabe Eskur, John, give us a crazy Tenet speculation video and I'll love you forever. I gave you guys some of my Tenet speculation earlier on in this stream. If you missed it, go back and check it out. But I do have my theories and my conspiracies that Tenet and Inception will somehow be connected in the same universe somehow, some way. Maybe I will make the video. No guarantees, though. I'd hate to make the video and then it comes out and I was just completely wrong. And I'm basing all this on just like trailer footage, nothing more. All right, let's read some of the other stream questions here. I always do try to read the normal stream questions. Been watching since 2012. Thanks, Frank. Thoughts on Django Unchained? Probably my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie ever made. The retribution, the redemption, Jamie Foxx in that film. It's a near perfect movie for me, and it never gets old. It just only gets better every time I watch it. Zaybeast Studios, you missed my super chat. I will look for it, Zaybeast, don't worry. Does anyone know if Ratatouille looks good on 4K? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't know that. Hashtag bring back Tiny Todd. Maybe he'll make a return cameo for one of my reunion videos or something. Oh, Tiny Todd, a little plastic skeleton who still people will never let die. Legends never die, as they say. All right, let's look for Zaybeast Studios question because YouTube is not showing me your question, man. And I'm looking here. I'm searching deep. I'm searching low. Zaybeast Studios. Best true story survival film, 127 hours for me. Great one. Don't disagree with it. If you watch 127 hours starring James Franco, watch that movie and try not to get thirsty when you watch it. That movie makes me want to chug water for like 3 days straight. Yeah, that's a great true survival film. What's another one? Another great true survival film. Why can't I remember it? There's a prison film. What is the name of it? Plain. Sorry, losing my brain here. Alive. That is the movie I'm thinking of. Okay, thanks. Thank you, Google. You're so helpful and so useful. Yes, Alive is a phenomenal survival film. Highly recommend everyone watch it. It's about a plane crash of I believe an Italian soccer team, and they crash on the side of this mountain, and they're stuck there for months and months on end, and they start running out of food, and they have to resort to cannibalism. And it's based on a true story, and it's very accurate to the true story. And you watch it, and you're just like, you can't imagine being put in that situation. So go watch Alive. I think that's one of the best survival films ever made. And that's one of those odd movies. It's been around since for a long time, and I remember watching it as a kid on like VHS and still really enjoying it. All right. Come on, let's find more questions here. All right, guys, I'm gonna answer a few more questions, and then we can play the live game if you guys want to. Pick the flick, or we can just save it until next time. That's up to you guys. I love your Disney princess videos. Well, thank you for that. Yes, they're a little bit creepy, but necessary. And for some odd reason, I think people like those videos because it has over 1 million views now. So thank you guys for watching it. Dylan Peter. Hey, John. Hope you're doing well. What's a movie you love but everyone else hates? Where do I even begin with that? Over the Top is one of them. It's hard to say like a movie I love that everyone hates. Like it might be a movie no one gives a shit about. I don't know if they necessarily hate it though. But yeah, for me, it's always been Over the Top. No one else understands it like I do. I feel like I just connect to it. Are we doing the segment? We can do the segment. Mr. Drown, who's a YouTube member, says do the segment. You should do more movie night videos. I do have a movie night video coming with I watch movies with an LG projector and I sort of talk about them along the way. So I still have to edit the video. So yeah, I'm going to make it happen. I just have to edit it. Being wrong is part of the fun. That's why they're theories. Absolutely. I don't disagree with you. Pick the flick. Third row. Oh, people are already saying, okay, you guys want to play the Pick the Flick segment? We will play the segment. All right, guys, it's that time. We're going to play the Flick the Pick segment because we have to do it. I got to show you guys the cringy intro. So if you guys enjoy this cringy intro, or even if you don't, give this live stream a thumbs up because it does help that stupid YouTube algorithm, because YouTube, they like the thumbs up. They like it. They need it. And, one quick question, and then we'll dive into the Pick the Flick segment. John, do you remember when you hit the camera with a bottle, buying $1 Blu-rays from Blockbuster, destroying videos, hugging Tiny Todd, buying chicken burgers, riding a bike, pissing water, hooking your car horn, honking your car horn, finding Elvis, and getting cheap ice cream. I remember all of those events, and I do specifically remember throwing a water bottle at my camera and breaking it. Yes, I do. You're on it, man. You remember all of these. Thank you for that. Thank you for cataloging all of these great moments for me. Thank you for that. Yes. All right, guys. Let's play the segment, and we'll talk about some random movies back here on my shelf, and I'll explain how we play it if you're brand new to it. So no worries. Enjoy this cringe fest for the next few seconds, and then we'll talk about some random movies. Pick the flick! Yay! I'm sorry for that. Okay, here's how it works, guys. I randomly pick Blu-rays back there on the shelf, and here's how you guys get to decide, dictate which movies I pick. It's at random. You guys get to pick if it's shelf 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you pick which side and how many movies in, and that's the movie I pick. So if you say shelf 2, left side, 23 movies in. That's how I pick which movie to talk about, and we'll pick 3 or 4 of these movies and randomly talk about it, and I'll share my thoughts, my opinions along the way. So yeah, give me some coordinates right now, and let's pick some random movies to talk about. Rando Commando 41, 4th row, 17th from the left. All right, let's do it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Hey, you know what my old man got me for Christmas? A pack of smokes. Hey, Johnny! I love The Breakfast Club. I think it sort of is almost timeless in a way. And it sort of has, I think anyone, for the most part, can relate to the majority of the personalities or the characters in this movie. Because I think all these different characters sort of represent almost one person in a way. Or at least for me, they do. I can relate to every single one of these characters. Especially John Bender in the movie. But yeah, truly enjoyed this. Great John Hughes film about Saturday school. The craziest thing about The Breakfast Club, real quick, is you could never make a modern day version of The Breakfast Club, because what would happen now is if all these kids were stuck in Saturday school together, they'd all just be playing on their smartphones or texting their friend. They would never like start communicating and talking. You'd never have an amazing sequence where Emilio Estevez just starts dancing to music and then screams so loud he breaks the glass out of a room. No, you'd never get that. So I love it. All right, sorry. Nose itches. Okay. Slam Dunk. 4th row from bottom, 6th from left. Okay. 3, 4, 5. All right. Ooh, here it is. This is another movie I need to upgrade to 4K. It's The Hateful Eight. This is still in the plastic on Blu-ray. I've had this for many years. I love the movie. I rewatch it all the time on Netflix. I actually just rewatched it 2 weeks ago on Netflix. This is one of the most underrated Quentin Tarantino films that I love and enjoy and notice little nuances about it every time I watch it. I like films that take place in one location, and it's sort of like a nice murder mystery whodunit movie, and those are a great genre of movies that just make you feel cozy and creepy on a rainy night. So Hateful Eight, yeah. The next one, this one comes from a YouTube member. Mr. Drown 73, 1st row, 17th from the left, and Adam Rock says he loves the intro. Well, thank you. That makes one person. 1st row, 17th from the left. I gotta stand up for this. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's Cliffhanger. Hell no, you want to climb some mountains or something? Yeah, Cliffhanger, I've always enjoyed this movie. I will say that the funny thing about the Photoshop job on the movie is they took Stallone when he was clearly in the opening scene of the movie where it was summertime, and then they took the wintertime sequence of the mountains and put them in the background. So what he's wearing here makes no sense with the environment that he's actually in on the cover. But I've always enjoyed Cliffhanger. I think, if I remember correctly, they were trying to make another Cliffhanger-esque movie. Not a sequel, or maybe a sequel to cliffhanger, but something very similar. I don't remember the details, but I do remember that trying to culminate years ago. All right, the next one comes from Claudio Rogajan. Second shelf, seventh from the right. Okay. 3, 4, 5. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Never forget the 5th of November. Yes, V for Vendetta, one of my favorite comic book movies of all made, about revolting against the government, which is sort of what's happening right now. But yeah, this was a great film, and we're almost living in this right now. If everyone would put on a V for Vendetta mask and just charge the Capitol, we would be living in a modern day V for Vendetta. I always thought this was Natalie Portman's best movie as well. I thought it was like the sequence where she's captured and she gets her head shaved, and I thought that was a really great sequence. I actually remember skipping a day in high school. We used to skip school all the time, and we go watch a movie because that's what you have to do. And we watched this. Great time. All right, Manny Laguat. 4th row, 28th from the right. All right. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Good pick, man. This is the town. I have the 4K version of the town. This is the older super duper collector's edition of the town. It comes with all this crazy stuff inside of it. By the way, someone asked me the other day, they said, do you like the theatrical cut of the town or the extended cut? And I say I like the theatrical version more. I don't like the alternate ending to the movie either. I think the theatrical version was a little bit better in my opinion. And I love The Town. It's probably one of my favorite Ben Affleck films. And I love heist movies and bank robbery movies. Hey, I'm leaving this whole town in my review. All right. The next one comes from Dam5271, bottom row, 10th from the left. All right. 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. Okay, so let's talk about Star Wars for a second. I will not buy the Star Wars films on 4K anytime soon until Disney somehow puts out the untampered with original versions of Star Wars. There's no reason to buy them. Why would you? I don't want to watch altered cuts of the films, even though George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, that's what he wanted to make, and that's fine. And I've read that there was actually a deal in place where Disney can't release the original cuts. That was part of the agreement with George Lucas. I don't know the details of that, but I don't plan on buying them anytime soon. And if I did, they would have to be very cheap. So this is Star Wars. I like the way it looks, though. It's kind of odd, though. Like, out of everything you could put on the cover of Star Wars, you put Jake Lloyd. I don't know. Is that the best representation of Star Wars? I don't know. It's between Jake Lloyd or Jar Jar Binks. Which one do you want to use on the cover? And I think they went with Jake Lloyd. All right, and thanks for the super chat, Dam5271. Okay, I'm gonna take one more here. Take one more, so don't give me any more coordinates for movies or anything, and we'll just do one more. Let's see. Let's make it a good one here. One more. Come on. All right. Third row, 19th from the left. All right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Well, no, actually. This is 19. It's Toy Story 3, the Steelbook. By the way, I don't actually have the movies in here. I kept them in the original Blu-ray case. What I have in here It's a homemade video me and my friends made many years ago. It's sort of like Jackass wannabe stuff. It's pretty cringy, but there's some good moments along the way. It's essentially just me being pushed in a shopping cart into a tree. But yeah, fun story about this steelbook. This was the first video I ever made on YouTube. That's why I keep this steelbook. And I was talking about how you could go to Best Buy and get this for essentially free. And I deleted the video because I was like, it sucks. So yeah, that was the first video I ever made, and that's why I keep it. Gambit X says thoughts on Attack of the Clones. I didn't watch it. I've heard good things about it though. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yes, I've seen Attack of the Clones. I thought you were referencing the new animated series that was released on Disney Plus. Yes, Attack of the Clones. Probably, in many ways, it's one of the most interesting prequel of the prequel films for Star Wars. Like, there's some great moments where they go to different planets, and I enjoy that. There's moments where they're fighting. I'm like, that's fun. But then it's just like so diluted. The worst part of that entire movie is the love story. Like, if you can take out the forced love story between Anakin and Padme in that movie and actually have some quality writing, not talking about sand and how grainy it is, it would have made a better movie. A much better movie. But it's just one of those movies all over the place. Like, they had some great ideas, but then they had a lot of terrible ideas where it didn't help the movie at all. Release the homemade footage. Maybe I'll release a few segments of it. A lot of it's just too cringy to even look at. All right, guys, I'm going to take just a few more questions. And I will let you guys go. How long we've been talking for a long time in this video, I feel like. We've been talking for like 2 hours. So, yeah, 2 hours now. Okay. Yeah, just a few more questions, and I think that'll wrap up this week's live stream. And once again, sorry for the delay on this live stream. It was supposed to be yesterday, but I just feel like there was so much going on. I just needed a day to reboot and start fresh today. So yeah, let me answer a few more questions, and I will let you guys go on with your lives. I hate Attack the Clones. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it's probably the least rewatchable of the prequel movies. Mr. Drown, but John, sand messes up everything. It really does. It really does. I feel like we're all covered in sand these days. It's just everything's messed up. Supergirl 1984 is a guilty pleasure. Yeah, I don't ever want to watch that again. But the same girl who was in Supergirl was also in a movie called Legend of Billie Jean. There's a movie that I enjoy that no one would think I would like or probably talk about. The Legend of Billie Jean. Go watch that. I enjoy it. How's Jaws on 4K? All right, guys. Let me give you, because I like you guys and I like to give you guys some insights to everything. Watch this. Hang on a second. So this was sent to me by Universal. This has a lot of stuff in it, including Jaws on 4K. So maybe we can do a special unboxing of that very soon. I think they included some socks and like swim trunks with sharks on it or something crazy like that. So that'll be cool to talk about. And I need to watch Jaws on 4K. So I can give you guys some of my thoughts on it. So yeah, I'll make a video talking about it as soon as I get a chance to watch it and do an unboxing of it. All right. Claudio Rogajan. You always say I miss a super chat from you, but YouTube doesn't show me your super chats. So here it is, buddy. Okay. Claudio, I answered your super chat question about 6 Underground. If you have another one, I answered them all. Sorry, I'm looking back, man. I answered all of them. If you go back, maybe you missed it. Oh, here it is. Okay, I hope I get it, Claudio. All right. Kraven's Last Hunt represents Kraven very well. I think it's too dark for the MCU. There's a guy in it who is a cannibal, and the conclusion is very dark. That sounds good. I'm all about that. That sounds cool, actually. Yeah, I think I'm hoping the MCU goes a little bit darker. Maybe they will, maybe not. It's still Disney at the end of the day, but I would like to see them go with a darker tone, or at least go for it. And when it comes to the next Spider-Man movie, please just stop trying to incorporate all these other Avengers in the Spider-Man movie. Give him his own movie. Make it feel solid and almost like a standalone Spider-Man movie. So that's what I'm hoping for the next Spider-Man movie. All right. Okay, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope I answered all of the questions. I think I did. Adam Rock says, Legend of Billie Jean. What a solid one. You missed my Streamlabs donation from Mr. Drown 73, and then he says JK. Okay. Don't joke around like that. All right, there's one more. This will be the last question, guys. Hector the Chill Guy. Hi, John. Is signing up for HBO Max just to watch The Nice Guys worth it? Just go buy the Blu-ray of The Nice Guys on eBay for like $3. So probably not. That would be my recommendation. All right. The Nice Guys. That's also a good movie. Benny. Benny said shelf 4, 20 from the right. Okay. I'll make that the last question. All right. No more questions, please. I don't want to miss any. 20. Oh, there it is. Here it is. Gangs of New York. The only problem with this movie is Cameron Diaz being miscast. Everything else was great about this film. And then you had Daniel Day-Lewis in this film. Phenomenal performance. I love everything about it. I wish Daniel Day-Lewis would do more movies, but he simply refuses to. Dam5271, John, you are a badass. Well, thank you, Dam5271. And thank you for that super chat. Much appreciated. Too generous. But thank you. You're a badass as well, man. Much appreciated. Okay, guys. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys so much for coming in to watch, posting your questions, the donations. Very much appreciated. You guys are too awesome. I do appreciate it. I think I need to do a giveaway on the next live stream. So watch the next live stream, and I think I'm going to do a giveaway for one lucky person watching. I wish I had 500 things to give away, but I'm poor. So, stick around to the next live stream next week, or maybe we'll do one somewhere in the meantime if there's more stuff to talk about. It seems like there always is. As always, guys, leave your thoughts, your opinions down below. Let me know how you're doing. I do read the comments. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. It does mean a lot. And I hope you guys stay safe. And go watch a movie. Just go watch a relaxing, peaceful movie to escape the realities that we live in right now. And I'll take care, guys. And thanks for the YouTube members joining in. Pharaoh Lovely. Have a good night. Rob K, Mr. Drown. Thank you guys so much for joining. Stay safe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.